The good news is that if you're watching this show right now, there is plenty of time. You can have a transformative learning experience in the time between now and the AP Bio exam. And really what I want to do is promote a way of preparing for this thing where you won't be cramming for the tests. I want to walk you through a 2-week plan to review. I want to let you know about some resources to study, and I want to answer any questions that you have. I also want to let you know that I have a detailed plan that you can get a copy of by going to apbiosuccess.com/plan. I want to talk about the 2 most important things for studying for a big comprehensive exam like the AP Bio test. And the first thing is that it's a big deal. These tests are difficult, they're long, they require knowledge of a huge amount of content, and you're going to be competing against folks who are going to set the time aside to study. So I just want to make sure that you have the maturity and the focus to do what is required to be done. And that is really set aside a significant amount of time. If you do that with foresight, you don't have to cram. And that is really what I want to promote. I want to promote doing review in a slow, consistent way that's going to get you to the highest level of knowledge. The more that time is spread out, the better your results. You got to study in the right way. I'm about to present you with a 2-week plan. And if you follow the plan, you're going to do great. Let's talk about some principles of effective review. You can get these principles of review in written form, but you'll actually get them in a better form by going to learn-biology.com. And if you go to this page, learn-biology.com/apbiology, that's the sign-up page for our website. But I also have embedded some resources there. And one of the resources is our 2-week plan. What reviewing for a big test like this is about identifying the gaps in your knowledge. You got to figure out where your gaps are, and then you have to work towards improving those gaps. The way that you improve that is through retrieval practice. It's through active learning processes. And what I'm saying is that I make YouTube videos. I make a lot of YouTube videos, but you have to do more than just watch a video. You have to interact with the knowledge. And interaction means doing things like flashcards, quizzes, because you need to be confronted with questions that will tell you what you don't know. And that's what retrieval practice is all about. It's about retrieving what's stored in memory or not stored in memory. And that's one of the most effective ways of consolidating memory, building connections between different areas that you know about, and finding the gaps. As you study, interleave content. And what I mean by that is there's definitely a moment where you find a gap and you say to yourself, oh, I don't really understand cell communication. And you can go in and work on cell communication. You forgot what a phosphorylation cascade was all about, and you're going to review that. But in general, when you're studying, you don't want to study Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4, because if you mix up content, which means if you do a question from Unit 1, followed by a question from Unit 6, followed by one from Unit 3, followed by one from Unit 8, what you wind up doing is you wind up interconnecting these concepts in your mind. You literally grow neuronal connections that help you become a more sophisticated thinker. And if you've looked at any of the FRQs jump all over the place. You need to be a cross-content thinker as you go into this AP Bio exam. So interleave content. You need spaced repetition. That means you learn, you forget, you learn again. And the time you do that second learning really consolidates it in learning. And finally, you need to do authentic practice. That's especially true for FRQs. You need to be practicing the skills that you'll actually be using on the test. And that means, for one thing, writing a lot of FRQs, and I'll show you 2 great places where you can do that. The plan starts on Saturday, April 19th. That's 16 days to go. And one thing that I want to encourage people to do is this. I'm holding over the next 3 weeks a series of live Zoom reviews. I'll be on YouTube Live as well, but these are going to be smaller, more intimate things. They're limited to 20 people. And the first day, we're going to start by going over units 1 through 3. That includes topics like cell structure, osmosis, photosynthesis, respiration, some pretty tough stuff that you're going to really want to have well well understood by the time you go into the test. So that's 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. PST. And what we'll do is review essential content. We'll build your FRQ and MCQ skills, and you'll learn some study techniques. And the way you sign up for these is by going to apbiosuccess.com/exam review. And then really what we're going to do is get this thing in motion on the 20th. I told you that one of the principles of effective review is finding the gaps and filling them. And so you got to start with some self-assessment. And the easiest way to do self-assessment is just to have a good course outline. Your teacher might have given you one, and then you're set for that. But if your teacher hasn't given you one, or you want something to supplement that, I've got a great tool, which is my ultimate checklist. You can download that by going to apbiosuccess.com/checklist. And then what you do is you use the stoplight method. And the stoplight method is some tried and true method for self-assessing knowledge. And basically what you do is you get 3 highlighters. One's red, one's yellow, one's green. Stuff that you don't know, mark in red. Stuff that you kind of know, mark in yellow. Stuff that you know well, mark in green. And then you obviously spend most of your time studying the stuff that's in red. Now, along with that checklist, I have a speed review video that guides you through that. And I'll put a link to that speed review video. It's 55 minutes long, which is about the right length. It'll take you through the checklist, and it'll help you review essential content at the same time. So that is day 1. Probably going to take you an hour, 2 hours to do that. And that's a good way to start your process. On Monday, the 21st, I want you to continue self-assessment. And I want you to continue that self-assessment by testing yourself. Now, FRQs are kind of easy to get because the College Board publishes their past FRQs, and I'll talk about that in a second. But multiple choice, that's a tougher thing to find. And so what I'm going to want you to do is this. I'm going to want you to go to my website. My website, if you don't know this about me already, it's learn-biology.com. Learn-biology.com is an AP Bio curriculum that has been approved by the College Board. It's been used by thousands of kids around the country, thousands of students, hundreds of teachers use it as their textbook because it's been approved by the College Board. So you go to learn-biology.com, don't forget that dash, and then you go to AP Bio Review over here. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to the multiple choice test. That's how you get there. You'll sign in, and then you'll give yourself a quiz. So what you want to do is this. You want to set the number of questions to 50. I just set that. And then you want to click Begin Practice. And note that I've checked off everything on this list. In other words, you're getting the entire curriculum. So you'd begin practice, and you'd get a question that would come down. And the first question is, which of the following statements is valid regarding proteins that are translated on the rough endoplasmic reticulum? That is a question that really might show up on the AP Bio exam. And I'm not going to tell you the answer right now, but here's the main thing that I want you to know. I'm going to just choose the first question, choose the first choice. And here's what I want you to note. If you get the answer wrong, what you'll get is a hint, and then you'll get that question again. So by doing these 50 questions, you'll be doing 2 great things. One is you'll be finding the gaps in your knowledge, but the second is that you'll be learning and you will be reviewing. At the end of that quiz, you're going to get a report that looks like this. But what I want you to do is take a screenshot of it or grab the text, and then you'll be set. On the 22nd, what I want you to do is this. I'm holding another Zoom review, and we'll focus on units 4 and 5. That's cell division, topics like cell division, feedback, homeostasis, meiosis, genetics. That's 5 to 7 p.m. PST. Again, it's the same link to sign up. Let's think about what we've done in our plan. We're still in our self-assessment phase. And our self-assessment phase has involved a checklist and then taking a 50-question multiple choice quiz on learn-biology.com. And now on Wednesday, April 23rd, I want you to take a second 50-question multiple choice test. And again, the beautiful thing about this is that as you test, you're going to be self-assessing and you're going to be learning. So you'll do that. And then on the next day, you're going to go back to your multiple choice. You're going to take your multiple choice results. You're going to go back to your checklist and you're going to flesh out your checklist. And you're going to realize things like, oh, I didn't really understand osmosis very well. And maybe you're going to change the color of that and you're going to mark it in red. But now you've got a really good sense of your gaps, and that can move you towards what you'll do next, which is then addressing your gaps. Then we get to Friday. And on Friday, what I want you to start doing is I want you to start writing FRQs. Here's the deal. The College Board, and I'm sure most of the people who are watching know this, has been extremely generous in terms of providing FRQs. So for every year from 2024 all the way down to 2008, 2007, 2006, you have free response questions. The only thing to watch out for is that anything before 2019, watch out for questions about the nervous system and the immune system. Those have been dropped from the curriculum and you don't have to worry about them. But let me just show you what the College Board has done. Let's go to 2018. Here you've got free response questions. And when I say study for, try these free response questions for 30 minutes, what I want you to do is open up a question like this and answer the question. Read the information and answer the question. Now, is it true that the format of the questions have changed a little bit? Yeah, sure. But the kind of question, the analytical nature of the question, the data sets, the complexity of the terminology, that has stayed the same. Do these past questions. They are golden. They are the best way to study for the AP Bio exam. And this is what I mean by authentic study. Now, how do you know you got the right answer? Because the College Board is really, really nice about this. What they do is they give you the free response questions. They also give you the scoring guides. So you can go right into the scoring guide and you can see their answer. And they'll tell you what you should have estimated, what you should have identified, and they'll tell you exactly what you should have done. That's what I mean. When I say spend a half an hour practicing FRQs, practice FRQs. Start with 2024, then do 2023, then just do 2022. And I do want to tell you that we have a FRQ success guide, and you can download that by going to apbiosuccess.com/FRQs. On Saturday, the 26th, you'll have 9 days to go. So you go to learn-biology.com and you go to our AP Bio Review tab, and that'll take you here. And then you click on AP Bio Enhanced FRQs. These are free response questions, and they come from all over the curriculum. Like I told you, you want to interleave content. So the best way to practice is now to take questions from anywhere, and here you go. A group of students is given 20 radish seeds. The students divide the seeds into 2 groups. Each group is masked, regularly watered, kept in the same conditions except for one difference. One group is kept in the dark, one is kept in the light. After 3 weeks, the seedlings have sprouted. Young plants are placed in a fruit dryer, which removes all the water. Predict what happens to the dry mass of the group in the light and the group in the dark. Explain the difference between the 2 groups. So you have a field here where you'll enter your response. And you might say something like, I predict that both groups will lose mass because they're not getting any food. And the second thing I'm going to write is for part 2, there shouldn't be any differences. Okay, guys, I know that's not the right answer. And I know you're thinking like, this guy, he doesn't know any biology. He's really not qualified. But I did that on purpose because what I want you to do is this. Now I'm going to check the answer. We're going to give you feedback based on what you put in there. The answer guide states that in the group in the light would gain mass and the group in the dark would lose mass. So you're getting feedback about your answer. And then you're getting feedback about part 2. And then you're getting instructions about how to improve. So this is like having your own personal FRQ tutor who will give you feedback about how you can write better FRQs. And we've tested this extensively. These are fantastic. And if you use these alongside of using the College Board FRQs, you're going to really set yourself up to crush it on the AP Bio exam. On Sunday, the 27th, I'm doing another Zoom review that you can join. Sign up, apbiosuccess.com/exam review, and work on the College Board FRQs in addition to that. And I want you to note that we've got these games that you can do on learn-biology.com. And there are these click-on challenges. And by the way, you can also do them on your phone. We have an app that's called Biomania, and you can get it on the App Store and Google Play. And it's got these click-on challenges work even better because you interact with the screen and it's a little bit more intuitive about where to click. You get sound feedback. So I think you'll really like it. Now we're on Monday, April 28th, 1 week before the exam. And spend more time writing FRQs. I hope you'll notice that in my plan, I have you do a lot of FRQ writing, because if you can write FRQs, you can also answer MCQs. Like the studying for the one helps you with the other. But spend 20 minutes doing multiple choice practice on learn-biology.com. Keep on evaluating your checklist. Look for items that are in the red zone. If items are in the red zone, then you can delve deeper. And you can do that through flashcards that are on learn-biology.com, or you can do entire tutorials. We have flashcards that cover the entire course. For just review purposes, you can give yourself flashcards from the entire curriculum, or if you, for example, are feeling like, my teacher didn't really get through ecology very well, so I'm going to dig a little bit deeper into ecology. I missed a lot of questions on that part. You can just do that part, and you'll get questions like this. It's a flashcard. How is primary succession different from secondary succession? It'll tell you. And if you got the question, you click got it. You want to study it more, you can flip back. Or if you need more practice, you can click that. Now, it's 6 days before the exam. I've got another live webinar. You're going to spend more time doing FRQs, and you're going to do those enhanced FRQs that I showed you about, because that feedback, again, it's going to get you to gold medal level, and that's where you want to be going into this test. Now we're at 5 days to do more FRQs, more enhanced FRQs, take questions for the entire course. That's the interleaving that we're talking about. Now we've got 4 days to go. I'm calling this day learner's choice, because based on what you feel your strengths or your weaknesses are, and at this point, you should have a good sense of those because you've been doing a lot of review already. You're going to do enhanced FRQs, multiple choice questions, or flashcards. It's not a day off. Spend the time, make it work. 3 days to go. Spend an hour doing multiple choice practice. 2 days to go. I'm doing a final live webinar. You can sign up at apbiosuccess.com/exam review and spend more time doing enhanced FRQs. Take questions from the entire course. 1 day to go. Learner's choice. Do what you need. If you follow this plan, I just want to emphasize, if you follow this plan, you're going to be ready for the AP Bio exam. And what I want you to notice is that you're not spending 12 hours in that exhausting, desperate way right before the test. You'll really be ready. I'm seeing a question from G. Coco. I'm really worried about FRQs because I'm not confident. What are some tips and tricks to feel confident about answering? G. Coco, I have talked about FRQs a lot, and really the main thing is you've got to start doing authentic practice. Oh, and I've got one more thing that I haven't showed you about. How in the world did I forget this? If you go to my channel, Science Music Videos, I've got a playlist. So if you go to my playlists, this is a walkthrough of the 2024 FRQs. And I've created a video for every single FRQ that walks you through the question and it gives you the answer. Watch these videos. in addition to doing FRQs on the College Board's website and doing my FRQs, that's really going to help you a lot. Folks, that is your 2-week plan to crush it on the AP Bio exam. During the time that you study, the saying that you'll be saying to yourself over and over again is find the gaps and fill them. You got to keep your learning interactive, and you're going to be doing that by using the multiple choice questions, the flashcards, the tutorials, and the games on learn-biology.com. Write lots of FRQs. You cannot write too many FRQs, and the sources of those FRQs are going to be on the College Board's website and in the enhanced practice FRQs with personalized AI feedback that we've created for you on learn-biology.com. Use those 2 sources of FRQs and you'll become a great FRQ writer, and you'll be great on the multiple choice portion as well. Finally, I'm going to be there for you through the webinars that I'll be delivering on Zoom between now and the AP Bio exam. Find out more about them and sign up at apbiosuccess.com/exam review. Your next moves for AP Bio Success are: number 1, sign up for learn-biology.com, and then please watch this next video.